Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sheila G the PAC, and since Christmas is right around the corner, I thought what better time to talk about Pityriasis Rosea, otherwise known as the Christmas tree rash. 'Tis the season. Before getting started though, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel for all things dermatology. Let's go. So what is Pityriasis Rosea and how does it relate to Christmas trees? Well, it's not caused by pine trees and it's not more common in the winter per se. Actually, it has nothing to do with any of that. It's more so related to the distribution of the rash, and we'll get into that in just a moment. But Pityriasis rosea is actually a very common rash that we see in adolescents and young adults, and typically starts with what's called a herald patch. So a herald patch on the skin is one singular or solitary patch that's usually more of an oval shape that can occur on the trunk, the upper extremities, sometimes the neck, and it usually is more of a pink salmon color patch with a very fine scale, and the center of that patch tends to be pretty clear. So that's how Pityriasis rosea starts. Usually about 1 to 2 weeks after the start of that herald patch, we start to see the breakout of Pityriasis rosea, which is more of this generalized rash with multiple oval-shaped plaques and patches on the skin that occur in that same area. So the trunk, the upper extremities, maybe a little bit on the neck. And I will say, just in general, one clue is that it's centripetal, which means that it doesn't go past those areas typically. So you're not gonna see it on the extremities, kind of down through here, the lower legs. That's not typically where you're gonna see it. It's gonna remain kind of centrally in the body. So again, Pityriasis rosea has these pinkish salmon color patches with a what's called a collarette of scale, which is this fine scale typically on the outer edges of the lesions. It doesn't normally itch, but it can be a little bit itchy in some patients. We don't know the exact cause of Pityriasis rosea, but it is thought to be due to a virus, more specifically the human herpes virus 6 and 7. We may also see this rash occur after the administration of a vaccine, such as the COVID vaccine or the human papillomavirus vaccine, or HPV. So going back to that Christmas tree distribution, what the heck am I talking about? Well, what that means is where this occurs on the skin is typically following the skin fold lines, which we call those Langer's lines. So when you see the rash on the back specifically, it's gonna look kind of like a Christmas tree. So it kind of goes like this. So naturally the skin lines on the back are gonna have that Christmas tree-like appearance. So it starts kind of narrow like this, and at the bottom it kind of branches out. And the patches that we see in Pityriasis rosea follow that distribution. You're gonna see that on the skin, and that's pretty diagnostic of Pityriasis rosea in particular. It's also important to understand that even though this is thought to be due to a virus, it is not contagious, so you don't have to worry about that. In my experience, I tend to see this rash a little bit more commonly in females, but it can definitely happen in males too. So although this rash is benign, it's non-contagious, it goes away on its own, we do have to be more cautious in pregnant women who have this rash, especially those within 15 weeks of pregnancy, because we know that this rash might increase the risk of miscarriage. So for those who have Pityriasis rosea and are pregnant, we do a lot more frequent monitoring with dermatology, of course, and with the OB. So the good news about Pityriasis rosea is that it's self-limiting, meaning it will go away on its own, but that might take up to 12 weeks. So sometimes to kind of accelerate that process, we may prescribe mild to moderate topical steroid creams. For those who are experiencing a lot of itch, we may prescribe antihistamines or recommend over-the-counter antihistamines. And in more severe cases, we might even do a trial of acyclovir, which is an antiviral medication, for about a week. Although this rash is very common, it can be easily misdiagnosed as either a form of eczema or potentially a fungal infection. There's different things that it can be misdiagnosed as. But these are the key clinical features that you want to look for: the herald patch, the lack of itching or mild itching, as well as, again, that Christmas tree distribution. I hope this video brought some clarity to you, and as always, thank you guys so much for watching. I wish you all a very Merry Christmas, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel for all things dermatology. I'll see you next time.